Good.
Yeah, that way.
I got like titties all in the screen. We got 16, 15.
Wait.
13.
Ray, you not in the thing.
You should be able to turn it back.
Why you turn it this way?
Turn it the other way. She work the other way as well. Turn it back.
4, 3, 2. See, it's telling you to turn it back.
Is it?
Why? There we go.
Hello and good evening. You guys
We are trying to get these
listening
cameras together.
WRUULP Savannah, Georgia.
Live.
107.5 FM, WRUU.org. We are Savannah Soundings Community Radio with Global Soul. Oh my goodness, good evening. It is Friday.
Yeah.
Friday at 8 p.m.
Okay.
So if you don't know, you have tuned into Let's See Who My Friends Are. I am your host here, Ray Carr, the Fit Hypnotist. Also here with us, I have my co-host. He fighting that title.
Is that I am your host. Now your co-host, your ear candy, your social voice of radio. This is GQ Smooth.
GQ Smooth with us here this evening.
Never left the building, but always,
Okay.
never left.
And also, always here with us in the evening is Miss Ayana Daly.
Hello, everyone. I don't have all of those extra titles. I'm just a friend.
There you go. You said I'm just a friend.
Just a
I
friend.
am daily. There you go. I'm just a friend. There you go. That's your thing. You made up one.
That's my catchline?
Yeah.
And she's just a friend.
Just a
that's
friend.
what's up.
You got
Let
what
me-
I need. Don't do that.
We don't have to pay royalties. I don't.
And that's why I'm sung a little bit of that. I don't pay nobody but Georgia Power. They got their money today.
But so you must feel royal.
About paying Georgia Power?
Right.
No.
Well, it's Friday. We start this off all the time. GQ Smooth has to have his couple of minutes of therapy. So we have to start this conversation off by asking, how was your week? And what you got planned for the weekend? Well, what's going on this weekend?
Ooh.
Oh, it's put me on the spot. Listen, my week was great. I almost got into a fight yesterday, though. But other than that, it's because it was hot and it was children. So, I felt like he was too old to be in the program anyway. But anyway, it was just this heat got me like, I'm ready. Let's go on with it. Well, the week was good. I got paid this week. I paid a couple of bills this week, so I'm good to go. I got gas in my tank. So no telling what's going to happen this weekend. I got the gas, and I got enough gas for the work next week. So I was like, I might just hit either 75, 16, or 95. I'm going somewhere.
You said goals. He said it goes because he got how much gas he got in his
I
tank.
got enough gas to get somewhere and get back.
That's all right.
And go to work this week. So my weekend, no telling.
Wait a minute. Now that's a lot of gas. I don't do
somewhere and get
back
and go to work the next week.
The whole week.
I'm not going
I'm trying to figure out what kind of dang vehicle do you have?
The drive ain't
Fuel
gonna be too long.
economy.
And the drive
It
gonna
is
be
too
long.
early in the show to turn left. It is too early in the trip to turn left.
I wish I could go home and see my brother's daddy. So happy Father's Day to him.
God.
Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
Well, happy Father.
Yes.
So I forgot to say that on my show, so I feel like I should just get that together.
You a man, and you didn't even acknowledge what
Again.
men do. Their fathers.
Happy Father's Day to
Yes.
all the fathers out
I
there.
barely did. I almost forgot Mother's Day, but just so happened it got in there. Father's Day is a sensitive.
And a happy Father's Day to your brother's dad.
Thank you so
Thank
very
you.
much.
Yeah, I'm saying, I'm sure he had his hand full.
With my brother, yes.
No.
Yes, with my brother, yes, he did.
Gotcha.
I was there.
Oh my goodness.
So, Ayana, how was your week? How's your week been? And what you got planned for the weekend?
Well, my week was the same, just work and more work. Oh, I think there was some work in there too, in between the work.
In between the work.
Right. So I enjoyed the fact that I had a 3-day weekend. So I am excited about that.
Yay.
Yes, and really the best plans is not to have any plans at all. today I woke up and I was just like, you know what, let's go.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello.
When we get on, when we going, I don't know. We'll figure it out when we get there.
Awesome, and look at that. We ended up here, all here together.
Yes.
You know, for this awesomeness. My week has been pretty okay. It's been a lesson in remaining positive. One of my biggest pet peeves is like people wasting or dishonoring my time.
No, okay.
And
Yeah,
I had,
you're serious, but I wish people could see your face when you say
I
that. Ooh.
know.
they will if they go ahead and log on to the Facebook page.
There you go.
and
Hey,
check
way to
us
get
out.
that plug in. That's what I'm talking
Right.
about. Yeah, baby, I like what you did. That was real smooth. That was real smooth. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I like that.
Yeah,
I
put
like
the
that.
bust out like that.
That, you know what I mean? They can check it out. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I was in a couple of instances like that. But I realized how mature I am because I didn't freak out and I didn't let it put me in a bad space.
Right.
It just, you know, like I said, a lesson in remaining positive. So I felt good about that.
Oh, okay, awesome.
And I plan on carrying that spirit into the weekend party time. No, I'm joking.
Let me know. Give me an invite there. I can stay
Well, first of all,
anytime.
the level of party. Why is it that the older we get, when you say you're going to party, it's more imagination?
Oh yeah.
To the action?
Oh yeah. I mean, I go to the gym and I hear the music. By the time I work out, you know, dance a little bit, I'm like, wow, this was a whole evening.
party,
You know, I
right?
could go right there.
Right.
I know, right?
I may or may not get there one day.
No.
I don't go to the gym like that, so that probably won't happen.
No, but of course, as always, I appreciate y'all coming out and doing this with me.
Of course.
We're venturing into a topic that a lot of people don't, you know what I'm saying?
Deep.
Even-
Like, my voice is deep.
Deep. You know what I mean? But we're here and it's next on the list. So, absolutely, let's jump into our religious beliefs. Oh.
Why is that so difficult to ask, though?
I
mean,
know.
I think
It's
it's,
like-
it's something like politics almost. Kind of like, what it's like,
What do you believe? I mean, I don't
It's
know.
like,
Yeah.
this again. It's one of those things, it got me, it's like this
It's like
again.
it's like, would that be something if you expose what your religious beliefs are, like if you were exposing their undergarments? Like it's an offensive thing to ask someone.
I would say, to be honest, I think if somebody asked me to go to my undergarments, I'd be more reluctant to talk. I'd be more like in tune to talk about that than religion. Like, let's talk about undergarments. Let's do it. Let's talk about undergarments.
Oh my
Eyes
goodness.
don't fit very, but Fruit of the Loom, you know, that shit kind of struggles against. So yeah, we'd be like, let me see. It was like, okay, here you go. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, as I was posting the questions, I was like, man, people not even gonna like these questions.
I didn't like. I said that, so I was like, ugh. That's my first response.
I
Ugh.
don't want to know.
It's like, ugh. This again. Them,
Go ahead.
But it's also it's amazing because there are so many discussions and arguments and heated exchanges,
Oh, yeah.
especially
Yeah,
on
exchanges.
Facebook.
Right.
You know, and Instagram concerning, you know, one person's religious belief or spiritual awareness
Exactly.
or whatever.
and practices and all that.
Right.
But when asked the question directly, you know, it could be an indirect, whether the subliminal posts and all of those
Yeah.
things. It could be something very indirect when people either jump in and show either their strong affiliation to a religion or, you know, completely disregard somebody
Right.
else's belief
Right.
system. But when you ask them directly, it feels uncomfortable to,
Right.
you know, to say,
What
hey,
it,
Hey,
is that?
do you believe in God?
Yeah, yeah.
It's,
And
I
that's
like
another
that
thing right
question.
there.
Go ahead. But that, go ahead.
We keep stepping each other's toes. It's all good. What I was gonna say is that that is also another debate in itself. Do you even believe in a higher power,
Right.
or don't? So is that wouldn't be considered a religion? That would just be something different than if you don't believe in a higher power. So is atheist a form of a religious?
Exactly. It's form of practice. And it's great. But see, that's the thing. It's not, now, like, the question, do you believe in God, is a question, like, I be gun-ho to answer. But, like, what's your religion? Like, it's one of those things, like,
How?
oh. like, are you
Right.
Democrat or Republican? Like,
Why
well,
you
I
need
mean,
another
this
name
is,
tag?
you know, like,
Right.
this is what I'm voting for. I mean, this is what I'm voting for. I don't care if they Democrat or Republican, you know. But, you know, it's just, I don't know if I was uncomfortable or just more angry. I was like, this question again? It's kind of like, one of those things like, yo, that's like, what? And then it almost took me like I was on a date too, though. So I was kind of like, oh, okay, this is like a date topic almost. I was like, okay. So I had to turn the positive spin on it. 'Cause I was like, I'm not answering this. I was like,
But
well,
how-
imagine if I was just on a date and she asked. I was like, okay, so I can see rape.
Well, okay, so
Oh,
it's so
what is
no,
wait,
religion?
wait.
no,
When you
that's
see
not-
me, how did I automatically turn to so?
Because you put on the hypnotist was so what are your religious beliefs? It's like,
it's a question like just people don't talk about it. You get all the way into a relationship, especially you meet somebody and they may not have the same background,
right.
or they may think that their background is a little bit more lenient than the other person's, and you get in a relationship and then it's like, wait a minute, whoa. You never told me that you had this problem. Well, you never asked. It's not a problem. You never asked me what my views were.
Yeah. I think too when we are hesitant, we're kind of like hesitant to offend other people.
Right.
I think that's part of it
Okay.
too.
Or to expose our own ignorance.
That. And I'm one of those people, I feel like mine, and most people you could tell, so I feel like it shows more than, well, what are you? I think it should show. So I feel like people can tell me they're
Human.
whatever.
That's
This is true, but people can
sometimes-
tell me that they're whatever, and their actions is totally opposite of
Of
the
what-
study, or what I've interpreted about the study of
There you go.
religion.
There
So I'm
you
kind of
go.
like, you're what now?
That's not what I heard. That's
Exactly.
not.
So I'm kind of like,
The
We have a little
references.
bit of interaction with some folks on Facebook. Thank y'all so very much for tuning in with us. And Tasha said that we need to let people believe what they want to believe, have their
Right.
own beliefs, you know.
Right.
And I'm hoping that with these questions and other questions that is what we're trying to promote, that you may have one answer, I may have another answer, and somebody else something completely different,
Right.
and that
Oh,
is okay.
oh yeah.
That it just gives us a clearer lens from which to see you through, right?
Right,
So that
right.
when you approach in a certain way, we say, okay, perhaps,
I don't want to offend you.
exactly.
Out of respect for what you believe, this
Right.
is where I'm showing my humility, I guess, what you would say, or my
Yeah.
respect.
Yeah, exactly. And then also, you know, that's how we demonstrate love. You just let your buddy be
Yo, but
whoever he is or she is, and believe whatever. If you know, my buddy believes it's a spaceship that's gonna come down. You know,
respect that.
I'm gonna prepare with you,
Right.
dear.
Exactly.
We're gonna get our stuff together, and because I want to see this happen for you.
For
know
you,
what I
but I don't mean I don't
And
believe.
then-
I believe
If
you,
that-
but I support you.
What always, and I know we're going way off topic, but what always kind of interests me is that our willingness to kind of look at somebody's religion and tear it down, but we don't replace it with anything.
Right.
You know, we just rip away at what they believe or what they have hope in.
Exactly. Or tear
But-
them down for not doing what they're supposed to do, like everyone is always 100 in what they believe in or practice.
True.
Yeah.
I'm just, because that's what the main thing, especially in the religions that I have come across, instead of, since the first question is, what is our religious beliefs?
Yeah, well, I just asked, you know, did you believe in God, and what are
Yeah.
your views around
Exactly.
what that is, that concept of what God is?
Oh.
Because, see, that's, and like you were saying, that's two totally different things in my mind, the way I came across it. Like, do I believe in God? Because so many things have been stand on God. I call it the Creator. So I do
Okay.
believe in the Creator, a higher power. If you would say, I see it as an outside source versus a higher power. It's all around. So it's just not high, it's low, it's in, it's out, it's in between, it's all that.
Okay.
So I believe in one Creator of
Right.
everything. Now the Creator uses assistants to create other creations, hence our parents.
Right.
So my parents are little creators. I am myself a little creator because
Right. Because
we
we were
are
created in His image or the image.
exactly.
Okay. Go
And
ahead.
see, and so I've come to the conclusion that yes, I believe in a higher power, a out of body
Physical.
thing, out of spirit, physical thing, but a spiritual thing, creator, God, if that's what Sam you want to use, higher power. Some people will call it Allah because in Arabic, that's the Arabic name for it. And
Well, I got a question about that. You know, I'm saying, I believe in, does it matter what the name of, if you believe there's a greater power? Yes, we do have to physically identify certain things, but what if we, even with your own family,
mhm.
you know your parents are your many creators,
Mhm.
right? They created you and your brother,
Yeah.
despite what you say.
He's saying, well, my mom, yeah, dad, we see a
But
teeter and
they
totter down
created
here.
the same
We're going to Mars this
from
year.
creation, and you guys both have your interpretation of who you call your father. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? The title that he has doesn't change the fact that he is the original. Your mother and him created you guys. So for me, when it comes
My
to
mother created
religion,
me. I don't know about the
you
same
know
daddy.
what? We're not about to do this. I'm so close to Father's Day, but you see what I'm saying? But because of what you call your father, which is your brother's father,
Right.
and he refers to him as his father,
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't change his title. It doesn't
Sometimes
change
it
the
changes.
role.
Sometimes it changes
So,
to my mother's husband. That's
Why
how I
are
do
we
it
so
sometimes.
fixated on what we call this being or whatever?
Because
The
that's
source being or whatever
that's-
you want to call it.
that's just what certain religion. If we can
That's
deter
what
from the main
religion.
question.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, and that's the crazy thing about it, and it's again a teetering thing between religion and spirituality. Some of even spirituality has different spirits
Mhm.
that they call whatever they call.
Whatever they
Same
call it.
way
Same
with,
role.
with religion, and no, some of them have different roles. Hence, the Greek gods had different god of water, the god of sun, the god of light,
Right.
the god of this. Egyptians the same way they had the
Right.
god of whatever. So
The God of. But they also realized that there was one God over all
But
of
see,
the
some
smaller
of them
gods.
didn't believe that there was one God over all of them. They just all work together. They're
Mm-hmm.
like Congress. They all supposed to work together.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, some
Learn
believe that
something.
they all work together, and that if water's over here doing this, fire don't have nothing to do with what water doing.
Okay. They're just doing their own thing.
They're doing it. They're the
Sometimes
God
they
of their
mingle.
own entity.
Okay.
The God of humans is the God of humans. The God of water is the God of water. You can't come tell the human what to do.
Oh.
And we have to. And some people ask the humans have to ask the water God as well as the human God to do
Well,
whatever.
that's a lot of
Yeah.
religious business.
Exactly.
Complicated. It's very complicated.
Now that's a polytheistic and monotheistic. We're going to go from poly and mono again this week. We go polytheistic and monotheistic. Those poly and mollies again.
You gotta have a religion just to understand the religions.
This is
You
true.
know what I mean? That's just it's too many rules.
See, but how do you approach religion? Do you believe, or do you have a religion, quote unquote, that you follow? Do you read, believe in, or follow any particular spiritual writings or
You can start with that one.
leaders?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm a hardcore Christian. I mean, I can only say that because that's what I know. That's my reference guide, the Bible. This is where I go to for balance and for whatever experience that I have. I go back to that source of the Bible and its teachings. I do recognize that there are other sources. The first 5 books are very similar to the Quran and the Torah.
What about the one?
The Bible, the first 5 books. Don't quote me on that, because
We got a computer.
you're the theologist.
Are we the theologists?
I don't
Don't
know.
get. Thank
I was
you.
just
That's
saying.
I mean, I'm
See,
not
and that's
saying-
the thing. You don't gotta give us a whole theologian speech. Just tell
like,
us.
yeah,
You
what you
understand?
believe in.
Yes.
We literally sitting on the corner talking about
Yeah.
what we believe. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
For me, like I said, I do. I'm like I said, I would call a modern day Christian, but I do respect that the same parables, the same stories that are in the Bible, can be told from a different point of view if you change the names. You know, it's just like honestly, I'm more of a believer of a living Bible, so because I don't really think that there's a time associated when these events are happening. Some are present, some are past, some are future events. And I look at it as a nonfiction book, and that has the what do you call it, disclaimer on there that said some of the names have been changed to protect the innocent. So you can actually transplant your name in place of the name of whomever that's in the Bible. So for me, that's how I look at it. That's my viewpoint. So, and it's just like, but I also respect the way that other people's, because the root of my understanding is love.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm a lover, the way that I would express love is that, okay, I respect you and what you believe in.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm in your house and this is what you do, I'm not. When you come to my house, though, I would expect that same respect. This is what I do in my house. Respect that, and I'll do my best to do the same thing in your house as well. So,
What about you, Ms. Roy?
I like how you pass in the question. Just pass in the question. Well, if I would have a chance to explain where I believe as far as, or what I believe as far as religion, I believe that we all, depending on where we grew up or where we were born, we have a particular experience in which we identify whatever God is.
right.
I think that when we try to put God in a box, call it, him, her, a human, a form, or anything like that, that we're already limited in explaining whatever this creator is. So I feel that religion is just man's way of trying to describe or trying to put a form, a set of whatever to explain away what God is. Now, the way that we do that is through our own experience, right? Mm-hmm. So if I grew up in China with Chinese customs and Chinese foods and Chinese things, then that's the way that I would try to explain what God is.
Right.
Okay.
The way that I've learned to explain what God is through the lens of Christianity.
Right.
And unfortunately, growing up, my mom didn't keep us in church.
Right.
What? Heathen.
I know, right? So kind of growing up, my mom, we went to church, but it wasn't that every Sunday,
Right.
It wasn't something. Church was something for us to do on Sundays, because some of us were a little bit more rambunctious than the others, right? So that's what, church was. So growing up, I learned a little bit about, God and Jesus and stuff like that. I know all the stories and all of that stuff. But it wasn't until I was a young adult that, I started going to church and actually reading the Bible and trying to get an understanding of
Right.
that experience. And then I got older and discovered, outside of a religion, that what you want to do is to create a relationship
There we go.
with whatever this creator is.
Right.
So in trying to have that relationship, which I feel like is just a bigger part of me,
Right.
because I'm just a smaller part of it. In creating that relationship, I say that I still try to create that relationship through this lens of Christianity, one that I've learned, things like prayer and
Right.
worship and,
And
even through the
in some
story.
cases, right?
Exactly. Even through the stories and the understandings and the parables that I've learned, still that is how I relate to whatever it is I call the creator. So as far as religion, I say that religion are, because we do things religiously,
Right.
things that we do over and over again. Go to church on Sunday, read your Bible on Wednesday, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Practice these rules and laws and all of those things. As far as religion, I most closely relate to Christianity. But yeah, my goal is to create a stronger relationship with whomever this creator is, and I don't think that there's
A
a
limitless.
name that I
Yeah.
could put on that, because as soon as I put a name on it, I just limited it to something way
Right.
less than it could possibly
Possibly be.
You know, so
Right.
not that I do it well all the time,
Right.
whatever it is,
Yeah.
but that
you
is
can truly
my
feel that abundance, that
Right.
magnitude that is limitless, and that is what is also actually written in some certain religions themselves. They won't even say a name.
Mhm.
They won't even give a title. Basically, how you just explored that and
Yeah.
explained that. So
So whatever that is, that's what I mean.
Alright,
I'm
that's him.
yeah.
Him is me, and that is
And
us.
I am it. Yeah.
Hey, y'all are one. The Trinity, you know what I'm saying? The Trinity, y'all are one. Three or whatever.
Hey, read that disclaimer
That's
because
what you said. I mean,
Yeah, that's what I was saying, because we can see
but it's way over there. You gotta
it's
read
like
that,
the viewpoint expressed in the following programs are not necessarily those of WRU, its licensed soldiers, or its staff. The following program contains subject matter and realistic language that some listeners may find objectable. Listener discretion is advised.
Yes, and we
Yes.
want to tell y'all that, y'all, because this is just our opinions. This is what we've learned and what we've come to this point in our life. This is who we are out here, just putting it out as honestly as as we can. So we're not trying to convince you of anything. In fact, the only thing we really want to convince you of doing is coming in and hanging out with us and let's
Right.
see who you are,
Right.
Put your views and things like that on there and see that it's welcomed in
Exactly.
love.
And if not, you can call WRU, look it up online, WRU.org. You are more than welcome to phone in. We have had a phone in before on this show. Remember that? That was what I was like. So we call on down here, we'll put you on air. You can't say certain words, so we will cut you off if you do. We will religiously cut you off.
Routinely.
We'll take you down, okay?
Oh, we're representatives.
You're silly. Like I said, but also too, with the religion and spirituality piece. Did we get to that part?
No, but we there now.
Okay, I'm sorry.
The question that she is referring to, and let me tell you guys this: you can go to Instagram, right? You can go to our Facebook page. Our Instagram is at WRUU_friends.
Yeah.
On Facebook, it's at WRUU Friends, or you can type in "Let's see who my friends are." You can follow me, Fit Hypnotist, or Ray Carr on either one. And get to the questions, because the questions are out there. We put it out there for you guys to interact with us, so you guys will know, exactly what it is we're talking about and what questions we're engaging with today. So one of the questions that's on there is, do you feel that there's a difference between do you feel like there's a difference between religion and spirituality? If so, is one more important to you than the other? So,
For me, I actually do see them as two separate entities, but they also as just as similar as male and female. I think they do intertwine with each other, and in some cases, you do need one to complement the other. Reason why I say that is because the story, the interpretation of whatever you witness and whatever you believe has to be taught to the next generation. And it has to be taught in a way that you understand it in your culture. And I think that's what comes up, that produces religion. But the true spirituality of it is a personal connection, which drives individuals to seek out for their own self, to study to show themselves approved. That is a level of spirituality where you want to be connected with everything, and then you have that level of respect for other cultures' interpretation of their relationship with the higher power, whatever you want to call it.
absolutely. We kind of skipped GQ Smooth. Yeah,
Oh,
we
you
coming
can
back.
you can come back, dude.
No, that's fine.
We can let somebody else start something.
We gonna pay some bills,
Yeah, then we come
and
back to
then
do
we
that
gonna
work.
come back to GQ Smooth.
I like how you have everything set up in the little playlist over there. I'm gonna get like you when I grow up.
Yeah.
I'll call you out on air. Yes, I do.
One day, maybe.
No, I ain't gonna get like that. I just have you help me.
The daughters
Just
of
like it's already set up. I was like, oh, interesting. I see all that crap.
Well,
Music anniversary of the end of slavery in America.
What?
On Saturday, June 15th,
You wouldn't put that in yourself?
11
Oh,
a.m. to
sorry.
6 p.m. at Wells Park,
I'm putting it
38th
myself.
Street in Savannah.
I mean,
The
Watch,
event will
watch this.
recognize
You said,
outstanding
what did you say about those
features,
scary
feature
movies?
food,
I was seeing if someone had answered the question. She was like, I can't see. I was like, you have
I
to get
can't
up.
see it. I can't see them.
You have to get up. No, Stephanie, there we go.
Let's see here. Okay. Watching My Religion is the Beach on the beach on a Sunday morning.
Okay.
Let's see if she said, wait,
You can stroll it up. It's okay to take.
wait a minute. Leave me alone. I'm trying to look at this thing sideways, okay?
You can leave your head in front of you. You're not going to watch the camera on the other side.
Wait a minute. We just need a lot. I can't with you today. I'm supposed to be being nice on TV, but we're still recording live on this one.
Right.
That means they could see you personally acting a plum.
Okay, so I can
Oh, you got them up there?
I can see it from right here.
Okay, good, because this is not going to work, because I feel like I need my glasses.
We are independent of other media and receive no government or large corporate support. People like
That's
you
exactly
You
what
want me
it
to
is.
be a guest or an engineer? I can't
I mean,
do
we,
both. Maybe
We can't.
Gemini.
We can't have our fighting aired, our dirty laundry aired on live.
Yes, ma'am.
you see, I'm just sitting here. Okay.
We can't be fighting on the live video.
This is not a fight.
I'm just sitting here today. I'm like, all right. She's so mad.
13 seconds.
So mad to be hated because of the topic that we're doing today.
You tell me, oh, look at you. You weren't even looking at the sides. You wouldn't even look over
Right.
there.
Hey you guys, we are back. This is Let's See Who My Friends Are. I'm your host here, Ray Carr, the fit hypnotist. Of course, you know who else is here with me.
GQ Smooth.
And Ayana Daily, I'm just a friend.
Yeah.
You ain't say I'm singing that song,
She
right?
say she's
Just a friend.
You got what I need.
Yes,
shut
we
up.
are continuing
Miss
our
Marquis.
conversation about you trying to get us fine. We are gonna finish. We're
Exciting.
finishing up the last half of our conversation. I think we got maybe 3 questions in, but that's just how it is. One of our viewers and listeners said, I think I avoid talking about spiritual beliefs because many people are so emotional about their own beliefs that unless you agree with them, it causes them distress. Or because most people don't have an open conversation, instead they begin to try to convince you that they are right.
Converting. They want to
I mean,
instead of
that's-
respecting, they want to
Right.
convert you.
But that's the point of most religions is to convert them to that. So I mean, that's technically what we're taught, and to do it because if you're a Christian, you're taught to be a missionary. You have to go out and spread the mission about Jesus Christ. Somebody tell you something different. Our job is like, but Jesus Christ is the answer.
Yeah, true.
Same way with Islam. Our job is to say, well, Allah is the answer. The Quran is the answer, or the Torah is the answer. So
But
this is what we were taught to do.
and we just said it is from a different point of view and different cultural.
I'm just saying what it's taught. I'm not saying that I do. I see it like
But
I was
that-
doing
but
with
it's
you.
true,
I
that's
just
true.
sit here.
It's that
Yeah.
each religion wants to have that dominance,
I just sit here and sing my song.
popularity, I guess.
So we're going to ask you
Yeah.
the question that we just asked. One, do you practice a particular religion?
That
Do you-
wasn't the question, but okay.
I mean,
thought-
that's
thought was
what
good.
the
You
question
said
was.
all of yes.
Oh, well,
You
or you want me to
all
be
of those
verbatim?
questions.
What, if any, religion do you follow?
I
Do
thought-
you read, believe in, or follow any particular spiritual writings?
I thought we
or
saw the
leaders?
question about is there a difference between religion and
You
spirituality?
you missed those though. You
No,
missed
I
that
didn't.
one too.
No.
Okay.
But do I follow a particular religion? I mean, growing up, there were 2 religions in my house. There was Islam as well as Christianity. So I had not 2 religions I was forced to learn, but I was introduced and taught 2 religions.
Okay.
Main ones being Islam and Christianity. And my parents had a thing where, as long as you're in my house, this is what we gonna do. which was fine, and you know, still think that's a great thing to do. But they also understood that hey, there are other religions in the world because Brother's Pop grew up with Christian parents.
Mm-hmm.
Just so happened he got in touch with some Islam people, some Muslims, and he was like, well, this is what I'm going to do. So they already knew that, hey, growing up, this is, you know, you can either be this or that. We spent more time in church than we did at the mosque. That's because Mom took us a lot more. Pops was like, Hop, I'm not doing it. So she was like, I'm not going there. I'm not one of those. They were still happily married, and they believed in, you know, there is a supreme being.
Right.
So that's what their commonality was. Pops wasn't too much on Jesus Christ down on the cross, blood, sinner, and this, that, and things like, you know what, love your neighbor as thyself.
Mm-hmm.
But he also believe in eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. So with me, you up.
Oh.
So, you know, we saw both of those. You know,
Okay.
Mom was, you know, forgive and forget, but every now and then she might throw them bows too. And Pops was like, I don't know, you know, yeah, forgive my guess, but, you know, get yours and call it a day. And so,
You pick and choose what you wanted from both teachings.
not growing up, I mean, it was what I went to a Christian school, went to a Christian church. Still, today probably go to a Christian church before I go to a mosque, only because they sing at church, and I like the songs. So,
Yeah.
gospel music is always one of the best.
Yeah.
And so, I've read the Quran as well as the Bible.
Right.
I've read, and getting older again, they knew that we would explore the world. So, I ended up reading other religions, Buddhism, you know, Confucianism,
Yeah, what?
Taoism, all that. What now?
Buddhism.
What I said?
Buddhism.
All them.
No.
All them. How you know? How you gonna tell about the religions I know?
Oh, shouldn't be a religion. Probably.
I mean, it's a lot of
somewhere.
I mean, there's a Church of Sleep now. Killamite meditation. It doesn't make. You can come up with a religion.
Just at one point where I thought he was gonna be serious.
I'm being real serious. You the one that took it like it was something because you heard Buddha. I wasn't saying Buddha like that. I was saying Buddhism, Judaism,
That's
all
why
of
I'm
them.
just saying he was
All of
wrong. You have pronounced it wrong, sir.
I wasn't talking about that particular one. I'm not talking about the Nam Yoho Rengekyo one at that time.
You know, I'm not even jumping in this. I don't want no parts of this
like-
argument because
I'm just saying, you know,
when the lightning goes strike.
Oh my God.
it's different religions like I said that some people haven't heard of.
That's true.
So I mean, it's like, oh, you pronounce it. I was like, well, you know, it's one out there that's like this. It's very, very small. Again, Killamite just came up with one.
just because you pronounce it wrong, you just gonna make it a new.
No, I'm saying
religious
there are several different religions that you don't know about.
I got
So
you. I got you.
saying that would make
It's a
sense.
possibility.
Yeah, I'm saying, look, it's a list of them out there that I was like, why are all these religions out here?
True.
And then what I learned about any of them, especially the main ones that I enjoy and still go down to whatever I practice, all of them that I subscribe to and like to follow, all are about peace. Now, how you get to that peace is something totally different, but they're all about peace. So I was like, well, and that's why I came to my commonality of it. It was like, I don't really care what you are as long as you're about peace. You know,
Right.
there's a outer power that controls different stuff because we're, you know, we were put on this earth. We are spirits. We have a mental capacity. We are out there. So, you know, as long as your religion or spiritual practice is about peace and about loving your fellow man, you know, every now and then you might have to throw some bows, like Sarah. We might just have to tear down and tussle.
But it's crazy part is that everybody thinks that their peace that they find is the only way that you could find peace. You see what I'm saying? So
Right, but what does that have to do with what?
because you said as long as each religion says that they have peace, you're fine with that. But what I'm saying
No, I
is,
didn't say. I said the ones that I subscribe to. I didn't say all of them had it.
Okay.
Because all of them don't. Satanism, or however you pronounce that one, since you know what's that? Satanism, how you pronounce that one? So you don't know about it.
yes, I do
So
know about
what is how you pronounce-
Satanism.
Satanism?
Mhm.
All right. That one.
Satanism, either way.
So that one wasn't always about a certain type of peace or the peace that I would subscribe to. I said
Okay.
the ones I subscribe to has a certain level of peace that is about being peaceful and loving your fellow man and not touching. And some of
And
them
it's
are
not
more,
mainstream.
some of them are not mainstream. I mean, I
Right.
don't know. It's mainstream to whoever may say it's mainstream. I don't know how people grew up. Some people.
So, in what ways do you practice whatever, or so? What ways do you practice your beliefs? What are some of the things that you do that?
I give thanks to whatever I'm doing. I'm grateful to the outside source, to myself, to my parents, to everyone around me. I'm kind. see everyone, I make sure I put on a smile, try to be the positive thing that you try to be as positive as possible to those individuals. My beliefs are the world is more happy than it is sad. Most people focus on the sad.
Yeah.
Some focus on the happy. I always believe in, I always practice focusing on the happy. Yes, something may happen and go wrong, but guess what? As long as I'm still living, let's be happy. As long as I still have life, let's be at peace. Why? I don't know what days, how many days I got, so I might as well enjoy every piece of it. That's why I say you don't have one life to live on this side, in this form, in this capacity. So what? So enjoy it.
Right.
Because, I mean, that's how I just enjoy life. I mean, I'm not going to sit up here and, again, cuss you out because you don't practice the same thing I
Right.
practice.
Right.
I ain't going to say you right or wrong. I'm just going to sit here and be quiet when she say,
Respect.
how you going to say that's wrong and say that? I'm just, sit back and be quiet. Like, all right. Because it now depends on what time it is. We went on your show. I act up in here.
Oh.
And you know,
went
this
there. That was a direct hit. I'm sorry.
You know,
but that's how I practice, you know.
He
you testing my gangster, that's all.
That's okay.
You
You
know,
know about the Lord, so
and you
he's
know,
gonna
we-
be balanced.
So how do you, Ayana, how do you practice your religious beliefs, or what do you do?
For me, I do like I said, my base source of whatever knowledge that I receive is the Bible. So I'm at a point in my life where I don't like. I've heard the cliches over and over. I've heard that, what is that one? No weapon formed against me, and things of that nature. Things they always say. Study to show yourself approved. Wear the full armor of God. We know these sayings. We know these things that we can easily quote to make people feel a certain way. But I'm in a point in my life where I want to be able to tangibly relate to that expression and basically live it, to know what it really means to study to show yourself approved by going in and saying, look, I got proof that I know what I'm talking about. I can go and prove to you that this is valid information, this is a constant. Okay.
We listen.
You
You got to focus on the radio.
Exactly. I was like, what's going on? She's all
We worry about the radio. We worry about the radio.
Radio.
Yeah,
I'm
the
sorry, not video. Radio.
Yeah,
But
radio.
basically, the way I make myself understand that, yeah, I do believe that. I think I heard that message, or when I go through a serious situation and I can actually go back to a reference in the Bible, which is like I keep saying, that's my source, and it is, and I can say I can relate to that. I can really say, okay, that makes sense now, versus, oh, that was a nice story to tell. So, you okay?
Yes, thank you. That was great. They hit me so deeply.
Ray knocked you out. She's like,
I'm just waiting on Ray's answer. I'm just saying, again, today I'm just saying, Ray told me I had to behave because she's like, oh, we're talking about the Lord. You
the
cannot
Lord.
go up here and I was like, you just don't know the Lord made me this, or you're not going to tell me nothing.
True.
So how do I
Yes,
practice
what about you?
my beliefs? I think one of the main things that I do is meditation.
Forgot about those tools.
I think a big deal about finding out about yourself, learning how to connect with yourself, how to get into that quiet space is the biggest deal about creating that relationship that that we're looking for. So I'm not gonna say that I meditate every single day, but that is a space that I go in to create that relationship that I want to have. Research, I read and learn not just about religion, but learn about spiritual things.
Right.
Whereas a while ago in my life I wouldn't investigate, different spiritual things, and I realized that stopped me from really creating a relationship that I want, because I would say, oh, that's not religious, that's not Christian, that's not what I'm supposed to be doing.
Right, that is
right?
contradictory.
Exactly. So
Blasphemo.
Well, I don't know about all that, but you know what I'm saying. But I don't. When you are religious, you miss a whole lot of things that create that relationship.
Right.
And I think about it like my relationship with my kids. If I'm just about the rules, if I say you hug me on Mondays, Tuesdays we eat together, Wednesdays is the day that, you know, we do this. You know, what about the hug that I'm missing on Thursday because I
Right.
went outside of the prescribed list of things, which is the religion? You know
Right.
what I'm saying? What about the awesome relationship that I'm missing when I'm able to be flexible and really go with what I feel as opposed to what I'm told I'm supposed to do?
And the lack of, I mean, the crazy thing about that is, and what I found is, thankfully growing up, and I will say this, every time I see him, I preach, I'm like, man, that's a great preacher that, at the church I grew up in. Because he never was the one that was, he was like, look, I say some things sometimes. I was like, cool. Came to Savannah, went to a couple churches, it was probably about 1 or 2 churches I went to, a pastor was like, look, I'm human.
Yeah.
Right.
He was like, it ain't about, you know,
But that's,
whether you do this, whether you do that. And the
Yeah.
thing about religion is, it's supposed to lead you to your spiritual relationship.
right.
And
In a way
lot
that you
of-
can understand, though. In a way that relates, it correlates with you, because if it's not something that you can relate to, then you would have not got anything from that. See, for me, let's say, for example, in your scenario where your pastor said that he's a man, right?
Right.
It could be taken in a whole nother context
Right.
of what a man does. Do you see what I'm saying? So,
Right, but that's not the point. The point I'm making is that religion is supposed to lead to your spiritual walk with the Creator. Now, I'm going to say with God or Jesus when it comes to Christianity, since that's what we own. Not that he was saying, like, I'm a human. I have to make sure I speak to the Father. That's what he was saying. Not as far as, okay, even though he would say sometimes, look, I am a sinner.
true.
So that
That's
makes
good.
you like, okay, well, good. I don't have to be perfect, because you will think, okay, pastors are always held to a higher standard than anyone else because, oh, they're supposed to be close to God when they are not. They're just
They're
a
not. They
messenger.
just represent messenger.
And we all are messengers.
Right.
If you practice Christian, you all are messengers of
You just get the
God.
original message that you need to pass out.
in that matter. But he was always laid back. Go make
That's
sure
right.
you talk to God. Go make sure you do this. Go make sure you do it outside of the practices. Again, reach over. We're gonna come meet for Bible study on Wednesday. It ain't gonna do no good if we just meet every Sunday and Wednesday. You have
Right.
Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's 5 days that you missing out.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's not a 7-day, a 5-day a week thing. You're saying it's a 7-day a week that you should always be in constant connection with your spiritual life. You should always be in constant connection with, well, look, this is going on. What should I do? Asking you again, meditating, spend your time with your
Right.
Creator, spend the time with your God, spend the time with yourself as well.
Yes.
Make sure that you are aligned with.
That's
whatever.
what I was alluding
So-
to. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just didn't interpret it that way. I'm
No,
sorry.
no.
But it's okay, you know. But you know, yeah. Make
No, I'm
sure
saying
you
that each church has a role because it doesn't speak to the same person. You have to find that leadership that it lines up with what you believe in.
Well, that's
Yeah.
what you've been taught, and that's what's good for you.
Okay.
That's,
Gotcha.
you know what I'm saying? Some people, you know, they don't believe that that's how they find their spiritual, their walk. That a church is just a place. You know what I'm saying?
True.
That it doesn't add or take away from their spiritual walk. So, you know, just so we can kind of not get in the place where we're telling other people what's right for them.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Let's respect that, you know, like I could say, this is right for you, and that's how the offense come in. We got to be
Okay.
able to kind of share ourselves in a way where it's accepted.
Yeah. And you say, this is what I did.
Exactly.
Right.
This is what I
right.
do. But you go make works for you.
Exactly.
Right. And I mean, that's, I don't know, I guess I'm not getting to the point where I'm trying to say that each point of view is different. Each person's respect for religion should be respected. And
Yeah.
it may not necessarily be projected or performed the same way.
Yeah.
But
Right.
it's that's person's way of communicating with what they believe in
Yeah.
and their own understanding. That's where I feel.
Yeah. Absolutely. I want to, because this is the topic that we are on. I know there's people out there that don't believe in
Higher power.
a high power. They don't believe in anything that they call God or anything like that. But I like to say this, that whether you believe in God or not, that we should always remember our own power and our own abilities as creators and as creators in this world. Now, if you believe in Christianity, if you believe in a creator, in a God, if you believe that God created you, all of the writings and things, they say that God is in you and you are in Him.
Mm-hmm.
If you just
her.
believe, or her, or if you just believe that you're a product of this universe, the reality is that down to the smallest level, you mimic this universe.
Right.
This universe is you and you are it. So if God is in me, whatever that is, if this universe, I yield or have the power of this universe, it said that the Creator spoke into existence everything that's created. So that tells me that I have that same power to speak into existence, things into my life, you know. So I say tap into that, tap into the Creator in you, and speak into existence those positive things that you want in your life, because we speak into existence all the negative things that we don't want into our life.
Right.
So this is something that is a big deal for me, to let people know that power of God, whatever you call it, the Creator, whatever you call it, the universe, is in you. Even if you don't believe that God spoke into this universe, had the power to create and change perfect circumstances to create an earth and a moon and stars and human beings and animals and plants. That's a lot of creation power. That's a lot of change power. And the truth is, you have that same creation power. You have that same change power. So whatever your situation is, whatever your circumstances are, that you can start yielding the power that you have to speak into existence the things that you want in your life, to speak into existence the changes that you want in your life, because you do have that power to create and change. And that is a superpower that everybody has.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a superpower that we all have. And it's amazing to me how many of us don't recognize it. You know what I mean? It took me forever to recognize my own superpowers, but, you know, I know that now I can tap into that and create and change situations almost you know what I'm saying? So,
you realize that you are, I mean, you have to come to that point, and some people get it early on. People have to realize that they are a spiritual being. So, if you are a spirit, you have these physical capacities to do it. So the same thing you said, speaking into existence. Spirits do that often. They come in, they do things. So you're just using your spirit to manifest your physical to get those things done. I mean, it's a church folk say, use power, life and death, lies and the power of the tongue. Speak those things to existence as though they were.
Exactly.
So, and first
that's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about.
Yeah. First, Doug said about freedom itself. He was like, I was praying on my knees for the longest, but then I started praying on my feet. I was like, you know what?
That makes sense.
He got up and started walking. He's like, I won't walk the free. I was like,
and then you hear, and their faith without works is dead. So you're just sitting still, nothing is happening. You're just thinking of these ideas in the spirit, and never tangibly putting them into action.
You got to use your spirit side to put it into physical manifestation.
Right.
So, we sat here. That wasn't painful, was it?
Not really.
Yes and no.
That was not painful.
I'm going to tell the truth or a lie. That's my good question.
Tell whatever feels sweet to my ears.
I feel like you weren't the cause of any of my problems.
Oh, I never am, sweetheart.
You guys are
Always
Now- now we-
solutions.
You're not gonna misbehave with it. You said I had to behave. I'm trying to get you. Don't do it.
You guys should have seen his face when I said that.
Hey.
If you're watching Facebook Live,
If you
you
go,
would see his
if
face
they go to Facebook Live, they
behind the
can
hat.
see it. You know. That's why I went there. I should start wearing my sunglasses again to block all this
Oh,
people from seeing
at
my soul.
nighttime in the studio. he
Well,
needs
y'all
sunglasses.
hear what we do here. You see what I'm saying? This could
Very
have
simple.
been a conversation where that could have got heated. You know what I'm saying? But
Respect was number one, though.
absolutely respect and the fact that, you know what I'm saying, it's all love in here. We just want to get to know who you are, if you know, by being open with who we are. So thank you so very much if you are listening to us this evening, if you've been catching us on our Facebook Live streaming. The video will be on YouTube, so you can go ahead and like our YouTube channel as well. Our
What's that
goal,
channel? You ain't shout that out.
YouTube is Let's See Who My Friends Are.
All right.
You know, type that in anywhere. You know,
And subscribe.
Very
Hit the
simple.
subscribe
Very
button.
simple.
Hit the like button.
hit the like button.
Hit the double tap button. The double heart tap button.
I know all of that.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Nobody think about
Give us-
no
I
other
don't know.
double
All,
taps.
I don't know all of that. So you got to keep saying it so I can remember.
You should get on Instagram.
We are on Instagram.
That's what I heard.
Oh.
Doesn't say you, not like you, the
I'm
show.
not.
Like,
I'm not on there.
Yeah.
I'm not very tech savvy on my private life.
you can speak those things into existence as though they're. See, now you start. That's the same thing you're talking about. You start that negative. I'm not very tech, but you can. Don't get me. We'll pass around a collection plate. Don't get me started.
No,
I think-
I'm trying to pass around a collection plate.
Yeah, but that sounds like a
Hashtag
punishment.
Get a Yana get a Yana some IG.
Just how do you so you see what the questions are now? Just off, you know what we're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Had to get something what the young folk talking about.
You guys are
For those of you that think the gospel music has gone
But
too
all
far.
of your proceeds will go to a needy family.
She really trying to get cash. You can see this how we get
That's
kicked
not,
off.
that's
the
not
radio.
allowed.
You know
Damn,
what
we
I'm
need to check that
saying?
out. That's not allowed.
Oh, so you wouldn't.
I said pass the collection in here, not out there to the
Oh,
people
okay.
listen.
Okay.
You gotta
I
listen.
was saying
Oh,
with you,
that's
I'm
not
sure
what I
you would
said.
cash in
That's not what I
as the
said.
gang director.
And
Okay.
see, they had to act up. We had too many straight laced questions
I know,
this
right?
evening about.
And people thought because it was my God that I wasn't going to behave. I always behave.
Yeah.
Because I am God. God is me. We are gods.
True.
Somebody. Don't. See, I'm about to do it again. Don't even preach. I would do this. I would do this. I actually have my minister's license. About 2 years now.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So while we joke, all jokes aside, I actually do have my minister's license. I'm trying to go back, not trying to go back to school for metaphysics and all that good stuff. So one of these days, I have a divinity degree.
Get me one of those.
Degree, one of them.
I want a man.
Yeah, we'll talk about it off air. We'll
Yeah,
catch it on
yeah,
Facebook
we'll-
Live.
Catch
So
us.
if I didn't agree to any of that,
Yeah.
then with just
You
Being
guys
peace.
are listening to WRUULP Savannah, Georgia 107.5 FM, WRUU.org. We are Savannah Soundings Community Radio with Global Soul. In about 2 minutes, we gonna start y'all up with some amazing music. But right now we're just doing a countdown so that we can.
We can start now. They can then that way they can do the intro into it. It'll start. It'll roll right on into it. We got Soul Sensation.
That's, see,
You don't want to do that. We still on the radio just chatting about what we're gonna do.
This is
you gonna
hilarious.
put the money? The
Yeah, I mean,
money.
once you hit off, once you hit off, I was
You're
going.
hilarious.
I
This
mean,
is why I don't know any of these controls.
Oh, none of the buttons. So you on there?
turn 8 on.
Good night, y'all.
Turn.
I appreciate y'all.
Ain't no problem.
Yeah.
Got so much sugar.
What you had? Sugar?
Wait.
You gotta turn that on.
We can just turn.
I got this on all the
Good night, everybody. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Finish. Right to the right. At the bottom there.